All right, so let's take a look at the next problem. I kind of played with this a little bit to see if there was a different way I could explain it. It's really not. So we're just kind of go with it. So anytime I gotta here, let's just plug in some of our A, B, H, and K. Well, our A is still 1. Our B base is still 2. Our H has changed now. So it's x minus H equals 0, right? So if I have x minus 3 equals 0, x equals 3, if you will. So basically our H is that 3, okay? That means it's going to go right 3. That will be our transformation. And then our K is 0. No other transformation from that. So we're looking at the only transformation sliding everything basically right 3. So if we had our asymptote, our vertical asymptote at x equal to 0, now it's at x equal to 3. Everything slid to the right 3 because that H is positive. Okay? So now what happens? Basically what that means is everything, nothing's really changed. Everything's going to be sliding to the right 3, if you will. So remember how we had our point here of 1, 0. So if we slid everything over, we'd have basically our points now going to be at 4, 0. Because now we'll have log base 2. And when that's 4 of 1, what would have to be basically our y? It'd have to be at 0. So it's basically at 4, 0. I know that's a stretch for some of us, but you got to stay with me on this one. And if I plugged in numbers here, I can't plug in a 3 because my argument can't be 0. My argument has to be greater than 0. So I can't plug in 3. The next number would be 4. And so if you think about it in these terms, if I had the log base 2 of 4 minus 3, which is, y equals, which is y equal to log base 2 of 1, right? Which then tells me if I do my little arrows, 2 to the y equals 1. So if my y is 0, my x is 1, okay? So that's what I have there when I plugged in that x right there at 4, my y has to be 0 to make this valid. Again, I know this is a stretch for some of us, but I'm sorry I'm not there in class with you, but it is what it is, okay? So everything's basically sliding over to the right by 3. Nothing else is changing from that. So my next number would be 5. So if I put log base 2 of 5 minus 3, well, 5 minus 3 would be 2. So log base 2 of 2 is 1. So when my x is 5, my y is 1. And your points, again, are going to end up looking like this. Everything's just, basically, if you go back to, where's it at? This one. This one. If you go back to this one here, all we're doing is sliding everything over by 3 to the right 3 because our h, instead of it being 0, now is 3. Okay? So, again, it is positive because there's no negative out front. Our domain now changes from 0 to infinity to 3 to infinity because it slid right. Our range is still negative infinity to infinity. It is increasing from right to left. And that's basically it. Again, I know that's a challenge for many of us. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some practice. It's going to take a lot of things. If you guys just chime in today, don't really think about this. Whew. All right. Good luck with that one. All right. So that was that one. Let me do the last one, then we'll go from there.